home to one of the world's oldest civilizations. Them and the South Africans both think they're a little cooler than the other African nations. And also they have a beef with Ethiopia.
All 54 African countries stereotypes explained. Let's go ahead and check this out, guys.
The continent we all came from. Most people don't realize how massive Africa really is. You could fit the US, China, India, and most of the Europe inside it. And all Africa, the continent we all came from. Most people don't realize how massive Africa really is. You could fit the US, China, India, and most of the Europe inside it. And also, it's so diverse that it feels like a world of its own. In this video, I'm going to talk about the different stereotypes for each African country. So, let's just get into it. Algeria, the country of a million martyrs. They have a rich history and are the biggest country in Africa. They speak Arabic, French, and Amazigh, and switch between them however they want to. So the other Arabs can't understand them much. What are their stereotypes? Well, where do I start? They're all nationalists who love their country a little too much, are proud of everything about Algeria, and bring their flags everywhere. They're also angry, loud, and complain about everything. But all in all, they're good folks who love couscous, Rai music, football, and of course, Zidane. Angola, a country rich with oil and diamonds, but unfortunately the money mostly stays on top. Yeah, I believe they're one of Africa's most unequal countries in terms of wealth distribution. But you may say, the capital city has all these tall buildings and it looks modern. Well, most people can't afford them, and they're mostly for foreigners who work in the oil industry. What I love about this country is the people. Family is very central in their culture. They're polite, and as long as they have music to dance to, they're happy.
Shout out Angola, man.
Benin is a small, underrated, and chill country in Western Africa. Also, it was the first country in Africa to go from a dictatorship to a multi-party democracy. The country is also the birthplace of voodoo. If you ask someone from there where to find a voodoo priest, almost everyone will know one.
Really? Botswana?
Boats wanna get there, but they can't, cause it's landlocked. Botswana is one of the most peaceful and least corrupt countries in Africa. They actually use their diamond mines revenue to build up the economy and create infrastructure. But still, it's to South Africa kind of what Canada is to the US. There's not much crime, the people are laid back and friendly, and they love dancing.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's very good comparison.
Burkina Faso. The country has a vibrant culture, or as some say, the cultural capital of West Africa. That's because of their music, film festivals, and, their culture. The people are proud, have a good sense of humor, and they live simple lives. The majority of them are Muslims, but here's their favorite drink and food. Also something about this guy. He looks like a Call of Duty character. Burundi. They were once a German and then Belgian colony. The country is very poor. It's so bad that at times even the airport has daily scheduled power outages. So living there is tough. They have a cool ancient drumming tradition and the country is very green and beautiful. Cabo Verde or Cape Verde is a small island country in Western Africa. It's a dry and rocky place filled with beautiful landscapes and the people there have a chill and laid-back way of living. Cape Verde is a stable country compared to the other African nations, with an economy that heavily relies on tourism. Cameroon is filled with almost any landscape you could find. That's why they're called Africa in miniature. There are deserts, rainforests, beaches, mountains, savannas, you name it. Cameroon is one of your poor, corrupt African countries. The people are hardworking, competitive, mind their own business, and love bragging about their athletes. They also have a sense of superiority towards other Francophone nations and are constantly beefing with Nigerians, Senegalese, and Ivorians.
Is that true, y'all?
Central African Republic. There, you feel at the center of it all. It is one of the poorest countries in the world, and according to their Human Development Index ranking, being born there is losing the lottery of life. The country has been torn apart by civil wars. There are many armed factions and warlords controlling huge parts of the country. But hey, at least naturally it's beautiful. Chad is called the Dead Heart of Africa. Also, its map looks like the Chad. The country is named after the Lake Chad, and the word Chad comes from a Kanuri word meaning lake. So basically, the Republic of Lake is named after a lake called Lake. The country is poor, sensitive to weather and climate conditions, and very few people there have access to electricity. But yet, it has the highest fertility rate in the world, at a whopping 5.94 children per woman. Fact: the former president was killed in 2021 while personally leading troops in a battle. I'd say that's a very Chad way to go.
Leading game.
Comoros is a small country between Madagascar and Mozambique with a very poor and conservative Muslim population. They're nice and will share everything that they have with you, and they believe Mayotte should have been theirs. 4 words that would describe the Democratic Republic of Congo are massive, poor, chaotic, and young. They have the Congo Basin, the world's second biggest rainforest after Amazon, which still has lots of unexplored areas. Also, here's a list of resources that this country has. And here's local militias and foreign countries' reaction to this info. Because of the country's constant instability, it feels like the Democratic Republic of Congo hosts the Pan-African Olympics, where militants from all over Africa come to fight each other. The people love their music scene, voodoo wrestling matches, and going to the clubs and drinking beer with grilled goat. Republic of Congo, aka Congo-Brazzaville, is a country right next to the Democratic Republic of Congo with their capital cities facing each other across the Congo River. You may ask, what are their differences? Well, Republic of Congo is less democratic and equally republic. Seriously though, they're much smaller, much more stable, and have oil just like them. Côte d'Ivoire, or the Ivory Coast, is basically named after the material the French exploited from it. The people are generous and nice. Thank you, you're so nice. They're the opposite of Ireland. Why? Well, here's the first reason. Also, it's always sunny there, they don't drink much alcohol, and there are no potatoes or leprechauns. Instead, they produce these. Djibouti is the smallest country in the Horn of Africa, and it has the word booty in it, which is awesome. The country is crazy hot, dusty, and dirty with garbage everywhere. Also, it's hella expensive, but as usual, the people are great. Egypt, home to one of the world's oldest civilizations. Them and the South Africans both think they're a little cooler than the other African nations. And also they have a beef with Ethiopia. The people are stereotyped as prideful nationalists with a witty sense of humor. There are some lovely and intelligent people there, but also aggressive folks driven by hard conditions and high costs of living. That's because their economy is more unpredictable than an Attack on Titan episode. It's one of the best countries to be rich in, but if you're poor, you're You may have seen this image from Cairo, but not all of the country looks like that. Look at these.
Oh, really?
Most of them have a mind-numbing traffic, and generally, it's better to avoid crowded places there, especially if you're a woman. Equatorial Guinea's capital city, Malabo, is on the Bioko Island. It's far from the mainland to make overthrowing the government harder. Yeah, they have an a-hole dictator. Equatorial Guinea is the only majority Spanish-speaking country in Africa. It gets double the rainfall of London, and it's beautiful.
Eritrea.
Eritrea is a military dictatorship with a heavily militarized population. That's why some call it the North Korea of Africa. Some speak Italian there, and there's no internet in most places, so they're in a constant state of dopamine detox.
Swatini.
Eswatini or Swaziland is a small mountainous country with a very small population where many people still live simple, slow-paced lives in shacks or clay houses. Also, they have a king who controls everything. Ethiopia's flag is pretty cool. They're really proud that they were never colonized, and that really inflates their ego. It's filled with highly educated people who can't get a job. The economy is bad and the living conditions are medieval at places. And here's the reaction of the government to this info. They also have a beef with Egyptians over the Nile River. But what's nice about there? The music, the food, the people, and the beautiful nature.
The food, y'all.
Gabon. Around 85% of this country is rainforests. It's one of the few places where you could see hippos and elephants taking baths at the sea. Around half of the population there are poor farmers, and by African standards, it has a high GDP per capita, but it doesn't actually get spread in a very per capita sort of way. The Gambia is one of the smallest countries in Africa and is completely surrounded by Senegal. Also, they're culturally similar to them. The Gambia is also called the smiling coast of Africa because of their kind and friendly people. Fact: white European women travel there to find African love.
Is that true? What?
People from Ghana are nice and known for their excessive use of the word please. Most of the young adults in Ghana live with their parents, and the parents will call the shots even when you're grown. They're proud of their jollof and have an argument with Nigerians over who makes it better. They also have huge elaborate parties.
Who makes better jollof though? Is it Ghanaians or is it Nigeria, y'all? Who make the better jollof?
In their funerals with some peculiar coffins. You must have seen this COVID-era video, aka the coffin dance meme. Yeah, that's from Ghana. Also, football is serious business in Ghana. P.S. They hate this guy. Guinea is a poor, corrupted, and underdeveloped country in the Western Africa. And just like many other African countries, the capital city is the only city with a proper infrastructure. On the bright side, they have great traditional music, drumming, and fun festivals. Guinea-Bissau is one of the least talked about countries out there. The land is mostly flat, they have mangroves, rivers, and forests. About the people, they speak Portuguese, are community-based, also there are hippos. The people are stereotyped as loud, confident, and proud, and maybe even individualistic. Every single person there is doing a side hustle, is always on a rush, and loves watching football while drinking at a local joint. But their most favorite thing to do is petting their pet lion while waiting for their herd of zebras to come over from grazing. That was an exaggeration. They usually have 1 or 2 zebras at best. Bribing the police is part of life in Kenya. Also, they have a love and hate relationship with Tanzania.
Shout out Kenya, man.
Lesotho is a country surrounded by South Africa and is nicknamed as the Kingdom in the Sky. That's because of its elevation. Lesotho is cooler than most of Africa with occasional snow during the winter. Also, they're famous for 2 things. 1. Mountains, and 2. Greens. Liberia means the land of the free. It's an American-made country set up to send slaves back to Africa, as if they all came from Liberia. Alongside Ethiopia, it's one of the only African countries where it was never colonized. Life is tough in Liberia for people, and every day is a hustle day for them. Libya has a mix of Arab and North African vibe. They're like a rare Pokemon type. You won't run across many of them in the West. Basically, they're like Egyptians, but with more tribalism. You may also know them for Gaddafi. Quite a character. There are 2 types of people in Libya. 1. Close-minded, jealous, and strict people. And 2. Caring, selfless, educated, family-oriented people. Generally, Libyans are extremely hospitable, often insisting you stay for tea or food, even if you just met them.
I wonder where he got these facts or stereotypes from. Like, where did he Google these? Like, where did he get this
Madagascar. The
information?
first one is amazing, the second one is good, and the third one is not bad. Now, about the country. It's among the very least developed countries in the world with little to no infrastructure. Most people there eat a lot of rice and work extremely hard, like they wake up at 4 or 5 am. But it's still hard to get by and life can be physically exhausting. What I love about Madagascar is the nature. It feels unreal, with many beautiful endemic species. Malawi is called the warm heart of Africa, and that really shows. Not because it's crazy hot, but because you'll see smiles everywhere you go, even though their living conditions are really bad. There are safari parks, a big lake, wildlife preserves. It looks exactly like what you would envision in your head when you think of Africa. Mali has the Western African culture at its finest. They have one of the strongest music cultures in the continent. Mali is filled with skilled artisans, and also they have these amazing looking mud-made mosques. Fact, Mali was also home to the richest person in history.
Mansa Musa. Shout out Mansa Musa, man.
Mauritania is an overlooked military-led country, and no one has ever met someone from there. It was the last country to abolish slavery, and it happened in freaking 2007. But still...
Hold on, what country was this? I've heard of this country. Hold on, what country was this? Hold on, y'all.
Military-led country, and no one has ever met someone from there. It was the last country.
Yeah, bruh. Crazy thing is I had somebody in my life from this country, bruh. I learned a little bit about this country already.
Mauritania is an overlooked military-led country, and no one has ever met someone from there. It was the last country to abolish slavery, and it happened in freaking 2007. But still, about 2% of the population are estimated to be slaves.
Mauritius, I've been there.
Mauritius is called the Singapore of Africa. The average person from there is an outgoing person with an Indian or European background who knows French, drives horribly, and complains about everything, especially the prices. Morocco feels very different from most of the North Africa. It's kind of like the California of the Arab world. Similar size, population, and geography as the state. Also, it has amazing beaches, mountains, and deserts. They're known to be hospitable. You won't leave their house without them forcefully feeding you. And don't refuse the food, they'll be mad. Moroccans also have a bit of a main character syndrome. There's a stereotype that women from Morocco use black magic to put a spell on you the moment they look at you, which of course ain't true. Moroccans love couscous and argue with Algeria over who invented it. And overall, the average person from Morocco is a tea-drinking, hashish-smoking, laid-back individual who loves nothing more than football. Mozambique has one of the longest coastlines in Africa, some beautiful beaches, fertile lands, and gets cyclones. In Mozambique, you'll see a lot of Portuguese colonial heritage influencing the architecture, cuisine, and the culture. What about the people? Well, they're great, but the living conditions aren't great. Namibia is a big, beautiful, and dry country, and it has a desert and semi-desert climate. The country is like a nice sibling who mostly stays in their room and listens to music all day. Very friendly when interacting, but mostly keeps a low profile. Niger. If life on Earth was a country building game, Niger's geography would be the ultra hard difficulty setting. It's super hot and dusty, and it can be barely survivable at places. Also, there are frequent droughts, and farming can be real difficult.
Nigeria. What's going on in Nigeria?
Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa, with over 250 ethnic groups, and it feels like its own planet. And you'll find Nigerians everywhere in the world. If you ask a Nigerian, they'll say Africa is just Nigeria with everyone else. What are their stereotypes? They're hardworking, educated people who compete in everything, and they don't lack confidence. They overdose on it. The hustle culture in this country is real. An ideal son for Nigerian parents is a tall, handsome, intelligent doctor. Anything else and that child is a failure. What else? You must have heard about the famous Nigerian prince scam. Paying bribes is part of the life there, and they have a film industry called Nollywood.
Hollywood, I've heard of that.
Rwanda, the land of 1,000 hills. In 1994, they experienced one of the most brutal genocides in history, with at least 800,000 people killed in about 100 days. For more info, watch this movie. After 94, through discipline,
Hotel
control,
Rwanda.
and collective trauma, the country was rebuilt, and now is rather orderly and stable. And about the people, they're stereotyped to be reserved and introverted. Also, they stare a lot, especially to foreigners. Nothing hostile, just out of curiosity. And about this guy, they either absolutely love or hate him.
Who is that guy? What does he do?
Sao Tome and Principe is a small Portuguese-speaking country located in the Gulf of Guinea, and it's like an African island version of Brazil. They grow these, love surfing in greens, work for this guy, and have this cool-looking peak. Senegal, a French Wolof-speaking country in Western Africa with a Muslim majority. They're humble, sweet, and super hospitable, like forcefully shoving food to your face hospitable. The men in Senegal love nothing more than tea, football, and they may or may not have 2 wives. But hey, at least they won the 2021 championships. And by the way, how great is Sadio Mane? Seychelles is made up of a bunch of islands that look like paradise. An expensive one though. The place is filled with rich people and they have the highest GDP per capita in Africa. Speaking of the highest, they hold the record for the most users of a white powder drug that starts with an H. Sierra Leone. First and foremost, it's the roundest country in the world. When it comes to the resources, they're rich, but economically, no, they're extremely poor. They're also famous for exporting diamonds. For more info, watch this movie. And I don't know, Kanye had a son named after them. Somalia, the tip of the Horn of Africa. The country has a federal government, but some states function as separate countries, like Somaliland. There are 2 types of people you'll find in Somalia. 1. Trustworthy and hospitable folks, and 2. Hot-headed loud ones who always want to argue about something. The people there also give nicknames to everyone, and eat bananas with almost every meal.
Bruh, I seen that, bruh. I seen a video on TikTok where they were eating banana with rice. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this?
South Africa. It's like Africa, but further south. It's called the Rainbow Nation and it's genetically more diverse than the rest of Africa. I mean, they have like 11 official languages. The people there are generally friendly, have a nice accent, love going to the Barai, and read the Bible like they have a test tomorrow. No one can deny that this country is next level beautiful. It can look like this, or this, because of the blackouts. They have a beef with Nigeria.
Hey, the shade that South Africa is catching in this video, dog.
No one can deny that this country is next level beautiful. It can look like this, or this, because of the blackouts. They have a beef with Nigeria. In fact, they have some sort of a superiority complex towards other African nations. Not so much towards people from other continents, but rather other Africans. These people are super blunt, like they'll tell you exactly what they think, which may make them come across as rude or arrogant to some people. The country has a strange mix of high standards of living, sheltered from the realities of the society for one part of the population, and extreme poverty, violent crime, and unemployment for another. South Sudan. After years of civil war, it broke away from Sudan in 2011. As a result, it's the world's newest country. And it's not hard to guess which country they don't like. The people love their cows and football, the country is all savannas and wetlands, and unfortunately the living conditions are tough. Sudan is a huge and historically rich country filled with deserts, rivers, mountains, and of course, the Red Sea coastline. Also, they have more pyramids than Egypt. The majority of people are Sunni Muslim. They're stereotyped as conservative, religious people who are a bit lazy, but also funny and generous. The life in Sudan ends after 8 p.m. because everyone goes home. Also, they've been dealing with yet another internal conflict since 2023, which has made their life very difficult. Tanzania is super diverse yet very united and stable compared to the surrounding countries. The people are stereotyped as flirtatious, easygoing folks who have a casual attitude towards everything and get friendly real quick. Like random strangers will be treating you like their own child within 20 minutes of meeting them. The only instance during which they're not calm is when they're arguing over their favorite football team. About the nature, they're one of the best safari countries, have some beautiful lakes, and the highest mountain in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro.
Oh, okay.
Tunisia is a small yet historically rich country. I think Tunisia is the most liberal and progressive Arab country in the world, and also they're one of the few democratic governments in Africa. The people are educated and polite. All of them are quote-unquote experts on economy, politics, social phenomena, geopolitics of the Middle East, and religious interpretations. They talk fast and love nothing more than arguing. They also have a habit of making fun of each other. Tunisians drink alcohol, but not on a Friday. Togo is a very small country that doesn't draw much attention to it, since nothing controversial ever happens there. Almost a third of the population practice traditional or folk religion. Also, they have a strong voodoo culture with voodoo markets. They're also very community-oriented and are famous for these hand-built mud houses. Uganda, the pearl of Africa. It's a diverse, resourceful, and beautiful tropical country. The sceneries there range from snow-capped peaks to volcanoes, rainforests, savannas, lakes, you name it.
Wow.
There are many tribes in Uganda, but the people are united. They're humble, chill, and will always make sure to greet everyone in the room and avoid troubles. They're simple folks, they love dancing, and know how to party despite all of the challenges.
Shout out Uganda, man.
Zambia is one of the safest, most peaceful countries in Africa, and it's landlocked. There are lots of tribes, the culture is a bit individualistic, they don't take things seriously, love dancing, and unfortunately, littering. Also check out these cool ceremonies that they have. Zimbabwe. You may know them because of their hyperinflation. The country is filled with natural resources, but because of the corruption, the population benefits little from them. They have the heavenly Victoria Falls and some fantastic national parks. And the people, they're always busy working hard to put food on the table and don't have time for other extra activities.
Look, man, if you are from any of these countries, let me know, is he speaking facts? You know what I'm saying? Is he speaking facts? Is he correct about your country? Let me know in the comment section below. But I hope you guys enjoy my reaction commentary to this vid. If there's any videos you want me to check out on the channel, let me know in the comment section below. Stay tuned for next, y'all.